So I'm just going to quickly go through this list and hopefully it will benefit you. If you can, repeat after me. So unless you're at work or somewhere awkward, repeat after me. So pay attention to my mouth and my tips and try to do the same. Okay, so let's do pronunciation. All right, and I'm going to go a little bit quickly, but remember, this plays again for the next 24 hours and you can rewatch it. First, we have sheep, sheep, or ship, ship. So I just bought some sheep's cheese. So sheep's cheese. And I do not like being on a ship because I get sick. So remember, when you're doing pronunciation, learn it in a sentence. Words sound different when they're used in context, especially with American English. We link a lot of words, so this is really helpful. All right, next, unwarranted. The punishment was unwarranted. And by the way, I'm actually reading from a post. It's a yellow post from yesterday. So if you want to see these words later, you can just look at the list there. All right, we have conscientiously. Oh, this one is good because the T and the C in this word in the middle, not the first one, sound like shh, like be quiet, shh. Conscientiously. Then we have meticulously. So the emphasis is T, meticulously. He cleaned the house meticulously. Let's see. I just lost it. Okay, so while I'm turning this back on, just to recap, I'm doing a pronunciation video with the words that you requested, but this will be my last pronunciation video because I'm giving you the resource to use on your own. I will focus more on idioms and phrasal verbs, so we'll do a little higher level English. Pronunciation is essential, of course, so don't worry. You have other Instagram accounts that focus on pronunciation that you can use, or you can use the website that I posted about. Depending on the context. All right, now I'm listening to myself on this. Okay, one moment while I pull this up. And while you're here, let me know in the comments where you're from. Okay, so we left off on sheep, ship, unwarranted, conscientiously. Man, y'all are asking for really good words. Meticulously, enthusiasts, enthusiasts, enthusiasm. My English teacher has a lot of enthusiasm. So notice a th. My tongue comes out, th. Next we have, let's see, handkerchief. That's a good one because it looks like hand-kerchief, but the D is silent. So handkerchief. My handkerchief has red, gold, and black. Cemetery. I do not want to be buried in a cemetery. Convalesce. So the S and the C both sound like an S. Convalesce. Oh, the next one. It seems obvious, but it's one of the most common mistakes. Pronunciation. The verb form is to pronounce. To pronounce. But the noun is pronun. None. Pronunciation. English pronunciation is challenging. All right, next one. Occurred. Occurred. The crime occurred at night. Let's see, next we have, a lot of requests for collocations. Yes, that's what I'm going to start doing more often for you. Collocations, phrasal verbs. Let's see. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. It's kind of like pra. So sometimes when you're doing a word or practicing it, you might feel like your tongue freezes or your mouth feels awkward. Just do something silly. Just go brrr, shake it up and try again. So you have to kind of reset your mouth. Again, entrepreneur. Then we have offense. Offense. So it's kind of like offense Like in your backyard, you have a fence, but this one is a fence. No offense, but your fence is hideous. The only other pronunciation for that one is offense, and that's for football. So offense, and that maybe could cause a little confusion, but in general, offense. Okay, next one, we have cemetery again. Calm and palm. So the L is silent. I am calm. I have something on my palm. Notice that I'm teaching you in sentences. So even though I gave you the website for pronunciation, it only does one word. Make sure you put that word in a full sentence. Again, words sound slightly different when you're using them in context than when we're studying them individually. And you live in context, real life, so study it like you would in real life. So we have calm, palm, awkward. He's so awkward. Awkward. Interest. Now this one kind of depends on where you're from. So from an American accent standpoint, we usually don't say interest, it's just interest. Interest. Do you have any interest in joining me this evening? Interesting. Wow, the movie was so interesting. So no, it's intra. Okay, good words. Next one, curtain. Okay, so this one looks like curtain, but especially for American English, which is what I'm teaching you, we kind of soften the T, curtain. And depending on where the person's from, it might even sound like curtain, but typically or generally, curtain. See, even I get a little confused. So if you're studying it individually, you might study curtain. But then when we use it in real life, like my curtains have polka dots. This is why I tell you, practice your English pronunciation. Put the words in sentences. It does make a big difference and will help you sound more natural. So my curtains, see the T almost disappears. My curtains have polka dots. I'm actually looking at my curtains. Internet. The internet is so slow today. Next we have computer. So it's not poo, but pew. Computer. My computer is my best friend. I'm on it all day long. Okay, next one. Months. This one definitely takes practice because you have the N with the TH and the S. So it's like all the sounds everybody hates in one little word. But it's okay. What I recommend when you say words like these is relax. A lot of people think if I say it faster, then maybe nobody will notice a mistake. Typically, that just means they won't understand you. It's okay if it's a little off, but take your time and provide context in case someone might get confused. So months. There are 12 months in the year. Excellent. And when you're rewatching this, if you're practicing this again, really pay attention to the shape of my mouth and my tongue. Months. Notice the tongue comes out and up a little bit. It's those little things that make the biggest difference in pronunciation. What else do we have? Peril. You are in great peril. Not a very common word in everyday English, but a great word. Let's see. Schematic. So that one, it's SCH, but it's not such. It's just, it sounds like SK, like schedule. Schematic. Oh, the next one, schedule. I have a very busy schedule. It's very subtle in American English. It's 3 very subtle syllables. Schedule. So it's jewel. Your mouth very lazily opens up just a little bit. So that's the trick with this word. Schedule. My schedule is very busy or full. And we have a few more. Retrospect. So retro, we don't really close the O, just retrospect. So the O is a little, I describe it as lazy. That's not the academic term, but that's kind of the real life description. You have to pay attention to what your mouth does. Okay, let me see what we have next. I keep clicking off of this. Okay, well, my computer just died, so I lost the last few words. But that's pretty much a good overview of what you've requested. Again, if I didn't get to your word, or I see a lot of you, hello, were texting me while I was doing this, and I didn't get a chance to read some of those words, but worry not, I have a website for you. So check out my post from today. I'm not positive, but I think it's two phonetics. I always have it on my bookmark, so I don't realize the URL. So check that out. This is not sponsored. This is just a website I found that I use with all of my students because I need the IPA transcription. But it's really helpful for my students and for you now that you're all my students, because you can choose American English, you can choose British English, you can choose another language to navigate the website. I think they have Japanese, Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, and a couple others. And my favorite part, make sure you check when you put the word and you press enter or whatever the button is, and you have the play button to listen to it. Next to it, there's a little bar, and my favorite thing is you can change the speed. So I recommend the first time, listen to it slowly, really listen to it, like the pronunciation, and then speed it up. I recommend for you, try to practice pronouncing it in like halfway, but practice listening the fastest one, because native speakers speak really quickly. So you can practice your listening of the fastest, but that's not how I want you to say it. I really would prefer that you practice the middle one or a little slower, because for you it's important to communicate. All right, well, I hope those tips help. And I am so excited to start doing more phrasal verb, collocations, idioms, and expressions. So you and I together are going to explore more of those. But to recap, my main tips for you. Number one, find a website that works for you. I have my suggestion for you. You can use that one. Number two, don't practice pronunciation of words individually, because that's not what they sound like in real life. I'll give you like the simplest example is this, THIS. If I practice it and I'm just saying this, technically that's perfect pronunciation, but that's not how we use it. I wouldn't say this is my house. No, that sounds like a robot. So I want you to practice it in a sentence. This is my house. This is my house. So remember, practice words in a sentence so that you feel confident and you really master the pronunciation of real life English.